Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to us all to today's lesson. In today's lesson, this is going to be a very brief one. It is kind of a recap to the two previous lessons that we just did. So we are going to look at summarize fa'il and al-maf'ulu bihi. We are going to summarize them, and the topic the writer names it under al-muwazanatu bayna al-fa'ili wal-maf'uli bihi. Al-muwazanatu is comparison. So al-muwazanatu bayna, comparison between al-fa'ili, the doer, wal maf'ul bihi, and the object. So we studied the fa'il and we've studied the object, the maf'ul bihi. So now we are going to compare them and see each characteristics they share and where they differ. Okay, so he says al-amthila, examples. Example number 1, yajurru al-hisanu al-ajalata. Yajurru is from the verb jarra, which is to drag something. So yajurru means dragging. Al-hisan, which we've already seen, means the horse, refers to the horse. Al-ajalata is the wheel. So basically yajurru al-hisanu, the horse is dragging al-ajalata, the wheel. Al-ajala, so the car tires is also called ajala. So when we want to say the car tires, the four tires, we say ajalat sayyara, the car tires. Some Arab countries choose to call it itarat is sayyara, that is the car tires, and one will be itar or itara. But the language that I think is popular, ajala, which refers to wheel in any case. Example number 2, qatafa al-ghulamu az-zahrata. Qatafa means to pluck something, a fruit, anything. Plucking means qatafa. Okay, so he says qatafa al-ghulamu. Al-ghulam is a young boy, al-ghulam. Az-zahrata, the flower or the rose. So the young boy plucked the flower. Example number 3, rabatat fatimatu al-jadiya. The verb is rabata, and the ta makes us know that it's a feminine person who did the action. So verbs like qatafa, if the gulam here was to be a feminine name, then we say qatafat. So when you see a verb like that, zahabat, qalat, namat, that at the end makes us know that it is a feminine doer. There is a feminine doer, or the one who is carrying out the action is feminine. It says rabatat fatimatu al-jadiya. Al-jadiya is a young goat. Al-jadiya. The big goat is called ma'iz. Mim alif ain zai. Mim alif ain kesra zai. Ma'iz. So the small one, the young one, is called al-jadi. So it says rabata means to tie something to, or to bound something to something. So if I hold two pins and I bound these to each other, rabattu haza wa haza, I've tied them together, I've linked them. The verb rabata has this meaning of linking something to something, whether by tying, whether by any connection. If you connect it in any way, there is what we call rabtun. Rabd, rabata, rabtun, that is a link. So if you say rabata, bimana, to link between two things. So it says ربطت فاطمة الجدية. Fatima bonded the young goat, which means Fatima tied up the goat, whether to a tree or to anything. Fatima tied up the goat, the young goat. Example number 3, يسقي الفلاح الزرع. The fallah, which is the farmer, yasqi is giving water to az-zar'a, that is the plants, from the verb zara'a, to sow. And when we say zar'un, the plants, what has been sown, so we call zar'un. Now let's see this verb yasqi. Yasqi is from the verb saqa. When we say saqa, he gave him water, to give water to. So here the farmer is watering the plants or the crops. The farmer is watering the crops. Okay. قذف اللاعب الكرة. Now if you look at this word, you see قطف, قذف, close in pronunciation. It is just the middle letter that is different. The vowels are the same, the letters, the first and the second, are the same, but the middle letter, qatafa, to pluck, qadhafa, to shoot something, to shoot a ball, we say qadhafa, to kick. Al-la'ibu is the player, from the verb la'iba, yal'abu, he's playing. Al-la'ib is the player. So he says qadhafa al-la'ibu al-kurata, the player shoot the ball or kicked the ball. Example number 6, habasa ash-shurtiyu al-lissa. Habasa, to arrest or to lock up. If you remember in the lesson of al-qira'at al-rashida, the lesson under qisratun min al-hubs, when the bread was talking about coming from one problem to another, from one lockup to another, the lockup, the maize, the little bread said, it called it, is it mahbas? That is a place of locking up. Where I said the word mahbas actually is also given to engagement ring or wedding ring. The verb is habasa, to lock up. Habasa, to lock up. So you say habasa ash-shurtiyu al-lissa. The police, ash-shurtiyu is the police, al-lissa is the thief. The police arrested or locked up the thief. Okay, now we've seen our examples. So with these sentences, learning about fa'il and maf'ul bihi and the vowels they should take. When you see a sentence and you are reading, like you read example number 4, yaski al-fallahu az-zar'. Now the vowel didn't show in this copy in the video. The vowel did not show. But you know, when you have the dhamma on one, that word becomes the doer of the verb. Now we are looking for the object in the sentence, and we've said the object ends in fatha, like this, fatha like this, fatha like this, and like this and that. So if you are reading something like this, you don't need the vowel to be there. You just go ahead and say yaski al-fallahu az-zar'a. You give it fatha even though you can't see it there. Okay. Now let's move into the comparison. They are now going to do it for us. It says an-nata'ij. The word an-nata'ij comes from natija. Natija is result, and natija, the result. And we say an-nata'ij, that is the plural, results. So after reading the examples, displaying some examples for us, wherein we have the doer and we also have the object, he's coming to give us the results from these examples. What do we see from these examples? He says, arafna, we've known, mimma madha, from what is past. If you remember al-fi'l al-madi, that is something that is past. Mimma mada, if you say mada, that is a verb. If you say mada Ridwan, Ridwan has passed. Okay, you say mada az-zaman. If you listen to the video we did on the poem explanation, we did, he talks about فَقَدْ مَضَى ذَاكَ الزَّمَنِ, and we said that era has passed. So the verb mada means to pass. To pass. Okay. He says, عرفنا مما مضى, we've known from just what is past. وَنَعْرِفُ, from what we've studied so far, we know. وَنَعْرِفُ, and we know now. من تأمل الأمثلة السابقة, from reading through or from thinking through the previous examples. ما يأتي. Now look at this sentence. It says عرفنا مما مضى, one sentence. We've known from what we've learned previously. We've known from what we've learned previously. And also, we know from looking through just the previous examples, ما يأتي, what follows. ما يأتي, what follows. Literally, what comes. The verb يأتي is from A.Y.T.A, he came. So we know from these examples, ما يأتي, what follows. Sometimes you see ما يلي, the following. They all mean the same thing. Okay, so what do we realize from there? Example number 1, we have أن كل فاعل. We learned that, we know from these examples that each, or what, from what we've learned, we know from what we've learned that أن, that كل فاعل, each fa'il or any fa'il, any doer, وكل مفعول به, and any object, ismun, is a noun. Basically, this is the underlying law. From what we've learned so far, every doer in the sentence is a noun, every object is also a noun. Again, what do we observe again? We observe that anna al-fa'ila, that the doer, huwa alladhi, is the one, sadara anhu al-fi'lu, is the one that the action came from. Sadara anhu, came from him. أن الفاعل هو الذي صدر عنه الفعل. So these examples, you can just even memorize these observations and you are very good to go. You've really learned a lot. Number 3, observation number 3, it says أن المفعول به, that the object, هو الذي, is the one, وقع عليه الفعل, the one that the action fell upon, that is the recipient of the action. Number 4, it says أن الفاعل, that the fa'il, that is the doer, آخره مرفوع, آخره is ending. So when we say آخر of a kalima, whenever you hear آخره, آخره, أواخر, we are talking about these endings. Like if this is the word, this is the ending. If this is the word, this is the ending. Marfu, this is its ending. This is what we are talking about. When we say ending, we are talking about the last letter and the vowel it carries. That is what we mean. Okay. So he says أن الفاعل آخره, that the doer in the sentence is ending, is marfu'un, is nominative. And I've explained that the sign for you to know a word is nominative is it ends basically in dhamma. There are other signs that we will learn later. But basically now what we should know is that when we hear marfu', we are thinking about dhamma, basically. Okay. And then observation number 5, it says أن المفعول, that's the object. Now sometimes you hear maf'ulun bihi, sometimes you hear just maf'ul. Appropriately, if you want to refer to the object, you say al-maf'ul bihi, because we have a lot of maf'ul. We have maf'ulun bihi, we have maf'ulun li'ajlihi, we have maf'ulun fihi. So when you talk about al-maf'ul, is vague. But then in this case, he generalizes it because approximately, or let me say, all maf'ul that you find, they are all mansub. But because we are talking about maf'ul bihi here, he should have been direct and given us our bihi. So anna al-maf'ula bihi akhiruhu mansubun, that the object is ending. The ending of the object, the word that refers to the object in the sentence, its last letter takes mansub. Mansub is accusative in English terminology, accusative. And then marfu is nominative. Now accusative refers to fatha. When you hear mansub, you are thinking about fatha. Mansub or nasbun, you think about fatha. When you hear marfu'un or raf'un, you are thinking about dhamma. Okay, so this is the basically the summary they want to give us about fa'il and al-fa'il and al-maf'ul bihi. Let it blend with you. Understand fa'il so well, be able to define it at any random time. Understand maf'ul bihi very well, be able to define it at any random time you are called to do so. Let it stick with you so that when you see a sentence, to some extent, even if there are no vowels, you are able to put the ending vowels there. I hope this is not very difficult to do. So these 5, you just keep them in your head. أن كل فاعل وكل مفعول به اسم. Basically, they are all nouns, of course. أن الفاعل هو الذي صدر عنه الفعل. Of course, the fa'il is the one that did the action. أن المفعول به هو الذي وقع عليه الفعل. That the object is the recipient of the action. أن الفاعل آخره مرفوع. That the ending of the fa'il, the doer, takes dhamma. أن المفعول آخره منصوب. That the object is still, or the ending of the object, where that refers to the object, takes fatha. Basically, this is what we are required to know in this session. I pray it's not easy, it's not difficult for any of us. Inshallah, as they say, Arabic is, some will say difficult, but we will say it's worth it. We need to know it. It's very interesting when you see how it goes. It's a very active language. It's reactive. Okay, I pray this we all able to learn this, and then I pray the previous lessons are also clear. So till we meet again, try and revise everything very well before we top up. Okay, have a good Arabic time, have a good Arabic grammar time specifically. Hope to see you again. It was a nice time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and don't forget to share.